He walked through the cemetery to clear his mind, until he saw a name carved in stone that stopped his heart cold. What he did next, no one saw coming. It was a rainy evening when Arav Mehta, billionaire tech mogul and media recluse, found himself taking a rare, solitary walk through the old cemetery on the outskirts of the city. He didn't know why he was there. Maybe to think. Maybe to forget. His company was on fire with success, but inside he was empty. He passed the moss-covered stones slowly, hands in his coat pocket, eyes scanning names without emotion, until one name hit him like a punch to the chest. Mirasani, beloved daughter, 1992 to 2021. He froze. His breathing stopped. Mira. The girl who changed his life when he was nothing. His college best friend, his only real friend. The one who made him believe he could be more than a dropout with big dreams and empty hands. She disappeared just after graduation. No explanation, no goodbye. He had searched for years and found nothing. And now here she was, under a stone, in the ground. His knees buckled as he collapsed in the wet grass, eyes locked on her name. "No," he whispered. "This can't be real." The caretaker approached slowly. "Knew her, sir?" "She was my everything," Arav replied, voice broken. "How did she die?" The old man scratched his head. "Odd case, that one. Came in under strange circumstances. No family came. Said it was suicide. Some say otherwise. Buried her quick. Quiet." Arav's gut twisted. Nothing about that made sense. Mira never would have left without a word. She never would have given up. He stood, drenched and shaken, staring at the stone like it was lying to him. "I'm going to find out what really happened," he whispered. And he walked away, not knowing the truth would drag him into a past darker than he ever imagined. Arav didn't sleep that night. He sat by his massive window, city lights flickering below him, but all he could see was her name carved in stone. The Mira he remembered was full of life, brilliant, witty, compassionate. The idea that she had died alone, buried without anyone to mourn her, felt like a cruel joke. By morning, Arav had pulled every string he could. His security chief hacked into death records. His legal team got access to the funeral documents. Something didn't add up. No emergency contacts, no address history. The body was brought in by a Mr. S. Menon, a name with no matching ID. And then, a breakthrough. A former clerk from the city morgue reached out anonymously. "She left behind a box, said to destroy it. I didn't. It's yours if you want it." Arav met him in a parking lot 2 hours later. No questions asked, no payment refused. The box was old, dusty, taped shut. Inside were only 2 things: a bundle of unmailed letters, all addressed to Arav Mehta, each one dated months and even years after she supposedly vanished, and a USB drive with a label, "If something happens to me, find him." His hands trembled as he opened the first letter. "Arav, I don't know if this will ever reach you, but if it does, please know I never wanted to disappear. I was forced to. I saw something I shouldn't have. Something dangerous. I was scared they'd hurt you too." Each letter was more heartbreaking than the last. She had been alive long after the world thought she was gone, living in hiding, writing to him, watching his rise from the shadows, always afraid to reach out fully, because someone was watching. Arav's jaw clenched. Rage and guilt flooded him. Someone didn't just bury her, they silenced her. He plugged in the USB. What he saw left his blood cold. CCTV clips, screenshots, documents, proof that Mira had uncovered a massive corporate crime, one that tied back to a powerful group, including someone from his own company. Arav stood slowly, his eyes on fire. "I swear to you, Mira, Whoever did this, I'll make them pay. Arav's life shifted overnight, from billionaire CEO to silent investigator. By day, he smiled at boardrooms. By night, he buried himself in Mira's files, chasing the breadcrumbs she left behind. The evidence on the USB pointed to one name repeatedly: Samar Desai, a senior executive at Arav's own company, a man with ties to multiple shell corporations, bribery cases, and offshore laundering. Mira had once interned at one of those companies, the same year she vanished. Arav confronted him indirectly first, dropping hints, asking questions. Samar played it cool. Too cool. Then came the warning. A brick through Arav's window. No note, just a red circle spray-painted on the glass, the same symbol that Mira had sketched in one of her letters. That night, Arav moved to a secured safe house. He increased his private security, but didn't stop. He visited the morgue, the police station, every hospital where Mira might have gone before she died. Then, a shock. There was no autopsy on Mira's body. "Why?" he demanded. The file clerk mumbled, "No ID, no family, no money." Case was closed fast. Unusual, but not impossible. But Arav wasn't buying it. Digging deeper, he found out something that made his chest tighten. The body buried under Mira's name had never been confirmed with DNA. His hands shook. Could it be? He rushed to the cemetery with a court order for exhumation. The staff looked uneasy. "Are you sure, sir? That grave's been untouched since the day she was buried." He nodded. "Open it." What they found inside wasn't Mira. It was a different woman, unidentified, no connection to Mira Sani whatsoever. The grave was fake. Arav staggered back. She's not dead. He looked up at the gray sky, rain beginning to fall. She's alive. She's out there. And he was going to find her. Rain poured as Arav stood over the empty grave, Mira's name still etched in stone. A lie, a warning, and now a clue. She hadn't died. She had vanished, on purpose. Back at the safe house, he reread her final letter. One line stood out now more than ever. "If you ever find my name carved in stone, it means they found me. Or I made them believe they did. It wasn't a grave. It was a signal, a message she left behind for him." His team worked around the clock, scouring places Mira had once mentioned. The NGO where she volunteered, the bookstore where she used to hide when stressed, the small hill behind their old college campus. And then, a miracle. A woman working at a tiny nursing home on the city's edge recognized the sketch he carried. "She's here," the woman said quietly. "We don't use names, but we call her Dia." He drove there himself, heart in his throat, and when he stepped into that quiet room, she turned slowly from the window and smiled. "Arav." He froze. "Mira." They stood in silence, eyes filled with everything words couldn't hold. He stepped forward, took her trembling hand. "You let me believe you were gone," he whispered, breaking. "You let me grieve you." "I had to," she said, crying. "I didn't know if they'd come after you too. I faked the grave. I needed the world to think I was dead so they'd stop hunting me." He held her tightly. "They didn't stop, but now I will." Weeks later, Mira's real identity was restored. Samar Desai was arrested thanks to the evidence Arav presented publicly, and the two of them, once torn by silence, began to rebuild. Arav announced the launch of the Mira Foundation, protecting whistleblowers, empowering women, and funding truth where fear once lived. And the fake grave? It still stood, but now with a new line beneath her name. She never died. She survived, and she changed the world because of it.